Most contractors think losing money happens after the project goes bad. That's not true. A lot of you are losing money the moment you win the contract. You just don't see it yet. You price it, you celebrate the award, and then somewhere between execution and project closeout, the profit is gone. In this video, I'm breaking down 4 reasons winning the project can still cost you money, and where contractors quietly sabotage their profit margins without even realizing it. If you've ever won a job and wondered, where did the money go? Keep watching. If you're new here, hi, I'm Felicia. I've built and ran a construction company, won millions in government contracts, and I've seen firsthand how contractors win contracts, but still lose money. Not because they can't perform the work, but because they don't price, manage, and close contracts correctly. That's what we're talking about today. Now, as I said, some businesses win contracts and still lose money. So let's get into why that happens. The first thing that impacts those bottom line profits is that a lot of businesses don't understand the difference between direct and indirect cost. And that misunderstanding alone kills profits. So direct cost is the cost to do the work. Labor on the job, materials, equipment used specifically for that project. These type of costs go 100% to the project. Now, your indirect cost, that's your overhead cost. So I'm talking about like your insurance, your office expenses, your admin staff, your software, general business costs that allow you to do the work. Only a portion of your indirect costs should be allocated to the project. Here's the problem. If you forget indirect cost, your profit disappears. You dump all overhead on one project, you overprice yourself out of the competitive range. Either way, you lose. If you don't know how to properly allocate indirect cost, your bid price is either too low or too high. Both are dangerous. Now let's talk about why underpricing is so common, yet very risky. Some companies underprice on purpose. That's just the reality. They just want to win the bid. Let me paint a picture of what that looks like. Little to no profit, sometimes an outright loss. You start using profits from another project to cover that current project that you overpriced on. Then what happens? You go back to your customer asking for more money, or you start cutting corners on the work that you're performing, or you blame. Put that on somebody else. Put it on someone else not putting all of the costs into the project. And then you go back to your customer asking for change orders or asking if you can renegotiate the price or can they change the terms to include XYZ that you left out, supposedly. None of that looks good. If you underprice, it's not the client's problem. And on government projects, that excuse usually won't fly. So which one are you doing right now? Underpricing and bleeding your profits, or overpricing and losing bids? Do you even know the answer to that? Let me know in the comments. Here's what you have to understand. Winning the contract does not mean you get paid immediately. Most government contracts will require you to float the project until the payments start coming in. That means paying your vendors, paying your subs, buying materials, covering payroll, all before reimbursement. Now, smart contractors align their payment terms to how they get paid. Your subs and your vendors are paid after you're paid from the government. And what I mean by that is when the money hits your account, then the clock starts ticking on the time frame you have to pay your vendors and your subs. You'll build in processing time before you release your payments. And then some even set their payment terms to be paid out 3 to 7 days after they know they will be paid. If you don't plan for cash flow timing, you'll be profitable on paper, but broke in real life. Let me share with you where most contractors quietly lose money. Most can start strong, but very few can finish clean. Here's some common profit killers: schedule delays, losing a contractor mid-project, and then having to replace them at a higher rate. Ooh, now this is really a killer. Missing line items in your initial estimate. And this is another big one here: unforeseen conditions with no contingency built in. Risk is a part of contracting, and ignoring it does not make it go away. Profitable contractors, they plan for risk, they price it, they manage it, and they don't panic when something goes wrong, because things will actually happen. It's all about how you manage those things when it happens. So here's what I want you to really pay attention to: is making sure you're pricing, your direct and indirect costs. Make sure you're hitting all the line items in your estimate. Making sure you're building in contingency for mitigating risk with your schedule, with potential sub changes or employee changes. So you want to look at an opportunity when you're bidding it and see what type of risk are you looking at? Like, what things could pop up during that opportunity that you're working, right? What could happen during the delivery of that service? And then you want to build in contingencies to alleviate, mitigate as much of the risk as you possibly can. Now, it's not to say that you're going to mitigate all risk, probably not, but definitely if you can narrow it down and minimize it, it'll be a game changer to your business, to your relationships, and definitely to your profit margins. So hear me, winning the contract is just step one. Profit comes from how you price, manage, and close out. If you're winning contracts but not seeing the money, this is why. And this is actually what I teach inside my programs. Now, this is the 5th video in this series. If you haven't watched the earlier ones yet on position, partner, perform, and proposal, go back and make sure you catch those videos as well. They set the foundation for everything that we discussed here in this video. And as you'll see, all of the 5 steps, because that's really what it is, the 5 P's, they all tie in together to having a successful contracting business. And I'll put the link in the description to the other 4 videos. If your contracts feel harder to manage than they should, that's a readiness issue, not a workload issue. The Prime Ready Accelerator is for contractors who want their systems tight, pricing right, and cash flow predictable, so contracts don't drain your business. Details are below if that's where you're at. And remember, one contract does not change your business, but Prime Ready does. All right, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.